Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to draw the guide plate. First thing I'll do is I'm going to go to the rectangle tool in the draw tool panel. And I'm going to use the absolute input method, which would require me to type in 0, 0 as my first corner point. My next corner point, I'm simply just going to type the upper right hand corner coordinates, which is 8, 6.5. Okay, that is the absolute origin, absolute input method. All right, the next thing I'll do is I'm going to clip the upper right hand corner. And in order to do that, I want to get some snapping points here so that I can do that. So I'll take a line tool. I'm going to snap a line from this side, top to bottom. Right click, hit enter. And I don't like to draw lines over top of lines, so I'll immediately move that line off. I'm going to slide this line over 6.5 inches. And that'll give me a snapping point up here. I'm going to do the same thing and draw a horizontal line from the bottom. And I have a point that I need up here at 5.5. So I'm going to move this line 5.5 inches. So notice what I did. I have a snapping point here and a snapping point here. There's many different ways to do this stuff, but this is the way I chose to do this one. Now these lines that I've drawn, I don't even need them anymore. So I'll go ahead and select them and delete them. Okay. Now this upper corner, I'd like to introduce another tool. It's called trim. It's a very handy tool. Go to trim. I'm going to select everything, right click when I'm done. Then I'm going to come down and click what I want to remove. Right click, hit enter or escape. Alright, so I clipped that corner. The next thing that I want to do is notch this bottom corner out. And the dimensions that I have down here is 2.5 and 2.5. So I'm going to do a similar technique. I'm going to go to line. I'm going to snap from point to point here. And I'm going to move that line over 2.5 inches. I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom again. I'm going to draw a line, cross, move it up 2.5 inches. Now, I don't need all this other line, and now I don't need this corner. So I'm going to use the trim tool again. Pretty handy tool. Select everything, right click or hit enter. Now I'm going to click what I want to get rid of. I'll get rid of that excess. And hit escape. There we go. We have the outer geometry for the guide plate. The next thing I want to do is I want to draw the circles inside. So I'm going to go to the circle tool and I'm given the diameter. So I'm going to go center diameter and I am going to key in 2.5 as the diameter, except we don't need diameter yet. So it's asking, always refer to the command line. It's asking for the center point. So the center point is going to be from the absolute origin, from the 0, 0 point. So it's located 2.5 in X, and it goes up 3 inches in Y. So that's what I'm going to type. I'm going to type 2.5, comma, 3 for Y. Now, look at the command line. It's saying specify radius of circle or diameter. So I'm going to hit D for diameter. And now it says specify diameter because that's what I'm given on the drawing. It's 2.5 inches in diameter. Okay, so make sure you refer to that command line as you go through. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to locate this other circle, but I'm going to do that by looking at this upper left hand corner and seeing that the dimensions are referenced from there. So I'm going to go ahead and go to circle center diameter. I'm just going to snap my center point up at that top. And the diameter is 1.5. I'm going to type that in. Now it's located in the wrong spot. So I need to move it over. And I'm going to do a relative move. And here's what I mean by that. I'm going to select it. I'm going to move it over. and I'm going to move it over using the @ sign for relative. I'm going to type 5 for x. I'm going to type comma -1.5 to move it down. And there we go. It's located in the right spot. All right, next thing we need to do would be to add dimensions. All right, next I'm going to add dimensions. When I add dimensions with circles involved, I like to start with adding those dimensions because you'll notice that that dimension will add a center mark for us. And we're going to use that center mark to dimension off of. So I'm going to put both of my diameter dimensions on each of these circles in first. The next thing we'll do is we'll locate those circles with linear dimensions. Let's go to linear, and watch what I do. Instead of snapping to the center, I'm going to snap to the top portion of that center mark. Snap to this endpoint, drag up, locate this down here. Notice where I snap. Drag it out. Keep applying the linear dimensions on all features of this drawing, just like you see in the digital text. Apply these dimensions here, and I like these dimensions to be lined up if possible. Got a few more to put in. Drag that out. The other thing I want you to take note is the gaps. Notice how these extension lines and the object line do not touch. There's a gap there. Notice at the center mark, there's gaps around the center mark. That's very critical. I will check for that. So when I snap on these endpoints here, it has an automatic gap built in the dimension style settings. So make sure you refer to the dimension style settings document to change the dimension properties and settings. Okay, I have one last dimension that I need to add, and that's the 6.5 at the top here, from this point to this point. So that is the guide plate drawing, and feel free to watch another video that will show how to take this guide plate and center it up perfectly into the sheet layout that we created. Thanks for watching.